I'm gonna go have my first ever encounter with a witch. I've got everything to learn because I didn't even know that being a witch was faith until like yesterday. All I know about witches is what I've learned from movies and Harry Potter, the books, even though I've only seen the movies of those. So just movies. So let's go meet our witch. Do I knock or is there... Hello?
Hi.
I'm a muggle, hello?
Yeah.
I'm
Hi,
Zach.
come on in.
Okay.
Hey.
All right, hold
I'm
on.
Essy.
You don't look like a witch.
Yeah, I don't look like a witch on the TV.
So how are you?
I'm good.
I'm good
awesome.
too. It's so good to meet you. And I noticed that you came in with a guitar. Do you play music?
Yeah, I do.
What type of stuff do you play?
Well, it's a big part of my spiritual practice, actually. I do a lot of channeling and singing, and I kind of let songs come through from spirit.
Just like whatever moves you play?
Yeah.
That's awesome. When I try and do that, whatever spirit is trying to come through always sounds like the same, like, noise.
We're all open in different ways.
Okay.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm gonna get to the faith question.
Okay.
How would you describe your faith?
I am a mystic and a witch. I'm not super big on words and labels, but those are the ones I'd be most comfortable with.
A mystic witch.
A mystic and a witch, yeah.
Which is different from a mystic pizza.
Definitely.
So
Totally.
what is a mystic witch?
A lot of us who identify as witches, I think, first of all, we're a huge pantheon of all different kinds of people, and we all might disagree on what a witch is or what a mystic is, but what it comes down to it is we're very self-defining.
What does it mean to be a witch to you?
It means when I was really young, I felt a sort of freakish connection with nature. I collected crystals and I made up songs. It was how I sort of processed my relationship with the world. And that throughout my life has evolved into a knowledge that we all carry wisdom, and some of it is really old. And I work with ancestral magics, with old songs and old stories that want to come through. So I'm gonna do a little bit of calling in some sound and channeling, and we'll see what happens because I never know what's gonna happen. This city life, sighs and fire. This city life, sighs and fire, ice and fire. Serve us fine.
When you were younger, like what age are we talking about here when you started doing your first songs?
Tiny.
The tiny age, the very small
The tiny,
age.
like 4 or 5.
So what were these first tunes about?
You know, I always felt a lot of compassion for earth creatures, and I wasn't afraid of bugs. I talked to bugs, you know. I was terrified of spiders as a little kid, and so I spent hours and hours meditating with them and spending time with them because I wanted to understand them.
Is that at the core of your mystic belief, is the oneness of nature and animals?
It is so much more complex than that. Yes,
Sorry.
absolutely. Yes, and. When you say, is that a oneness with nature? Is that the core of things? That's a piece. That's the physical world. That's the world that we can interact with great ease, right? It's pretty easy to go for a walk in the woods. It's easy to put your hands down into the earth if you're willing to get a little dirty. What's not easy is communing with your ancestors, is reaching back and feeling and knowing where you've come from. And that's a lot of the work we do as well, which is not as tangible. It's not as physical.
What are we going to be experiencing tonight?
We're just going to do a little bit of ritual practice. I might do some singing. I'm not sure how many people are here. It is hard to get witches in front of a camera sometimes, especially to say, hey, we're gonna do ritual in front of a camera. People are like, but why?
Is it because you guys are still upset about Hocus Pocus? Because I was not. That doesn't seem like a fair representation now that I've met an actual witch. It's very, very different.
That is so funny. So we're here just to gather and do a really simple ritual and have Zach hang out with us in this new experience and do ritual with us. So that's really exciting. So I'm gonna invite in some of our elemental energies. This candle here is for the north, for the earth. One of my favorite ways to welcome the earth is to do a little of this. Say, welcome, earth. Welcome, earth.
What would you say it was about this particular walk in faith with magic and mysticism that spoke to you more than any other religion?
I started out really young. I naturally had faith, so when people said, you know, here's God and here's Christianity, I bought into it, but I never bought into the mainstream wholesale corporate Christianity. I hate to say that. There's so many amazing tools out there, and I guess I like my pagan community. I mean, honestly, above all else, we're just really not that serious, and we're really funny. So our next friend that we can welcome is Air. Do you want to light this one here? Awesome. So air is all about our thoughts and our emotions, and one of my favorite ways to call in the air is to make bird sounds.
Can I ask, just because when I think of, pagans, because I'm uninformed and uneducated, I tend to think of, ritual, sacrifice, doing those sorts of things. And is that ever part of it? I've watched a lot of movies.
Some of us hunt and eat our food, with our hands, and I think there's a feeling in pagan community about, if I can't look it in its eyes and thank it for its life, then I don't want to eat it. That is ritual. That is sacrifice. Looking at an animal and saying, I love you and I'm blessing your life and I'm grateful for the energy that you're going to bring into my body to nourish me and nourish my family and those that I love. So my favorite thing to call is above, because we are stardust. If you think of the world in terms of science, everything was once something else, and all of this at one point either was or will be stardust, including our bodies. We are many things. Honoring those contradictions and living in a way that says that we can contradict ourselves, we can change our minds, we can, be exactly as we are in the moment. It's just reality to us. It's saying, I want to know you where you are. I don't want to know you where you're pretending to be or where you were yesterday.
What has been the most meaningful thing to come out of one of these rituals for you?
Honestly, for me, it's just a lot of watching people let go of really heavy stuff that they're carrying. Like seeing somebody who is always so quiet and reserved suddenly go out and just scream at the stars and just I'm done with this, is honestly, it's a rare human gift. It's really beautiful and really special and really always feel so grateful when I get to see people move through stuff like that.
Probably won't happen with cameras and sound guys.
No, no, it's really different, and there's only so much of a container we can create in this way. But I'm really excited that we can do this just to show people witches aren't scary. Like I said before, where there's so many different kinds of witches and so many different ways we work in the world. But insofar as I know my witches and my communities, we're kind of just people who are willing to go really deep and people who really are deep in the practice of loving each other in community.
So I just had a really peaceful time with a witch and a circle of cool people that I'd never met before. And I did not expect a witch to be so calm and connected with the universe. There's always something that's in me that struggles with, like, how genuine can I be and how much of a comedian do I have to be? And Essy has this very welcoming, genuine personality that makes you just feel more at ease than I would have been, making bird noises. And the fact that she can just sing on a whim about whatever, she's the Wayne Brady of witches. So kudos to her for being a really good witch. I would need a ritual to get down from these stairs. Seriously, guys, I don't have a joke. We're just stuck here at the top of these steps. See, this is where the broomstick thing would actually be helpful if it were true.
SoulPancake, subscribe.